So in order to look outside of Germany itself, we're delighted to have no other than the president of WorldDAB herself here today, who will give us an exciting overview of what's going on in other markets and countries worldwide when it comes to DAB+. Without further ado, please welcome the president of WorldDAB, Jackie Bierhorst. Welcome, Jackie.
Hello, Martin.
So,
hello, everybody.
International update. Lots of things are going on, Jackie. For example, you need the clicker. Hang on.
Yes, please.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you.
For example, to hop somewhere we all like to be, except for football, Spain is improving its DAB+ coverage. Switzerland is considering switchover. I read earlier today that they have actually decided to stop broadcasting in
Oh, you're
in
taking
FM.
my scoop.
Yeah, well, it's everywhere on the internet.
I know.
So give us the update. Hit me.
Okay, well, you're picking a little bit of a different order, but indeed, I have a slide on Spain as well. Spain, but first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me and that we as WorldDAB can give an update on where we are. And I'd like to congratulate you as Schleswig-Holstein for your wonderful news, because it's quite interesting. And so congratulations on that. So first back to Spain. I was there.
Or any other favorite country you have.
Well, I have, of course, Germany is my favorite country.
Of course.
Yes, that's the logical.
Of course.
Yes. But Spain, I was there in February, and there the public broadcaster RTVE announced the start of their broadcasting on DAB+. And they started in Madrid, Valencia, Murcia, Bilbao, and I'm going to see whether that slide is over here. Here it is. You can see me peeking like that.
Yeah, different hair though.
Yes, I know. I'm changing it all the time.
Good.
So it's never the same.
Good.
Yeah. So so here it happened actually. The thing is that they are so committed to DAB+ that they said, we're going to launch new cities every month. And on top of that, so they started in Tenerife, and they started in Malaga, and the area or all around, because they said, there's so many cars on the road, so the tourists will come, they have DAB in their cars, but also if they hire their cars over there will be DAB in it, DAB+. So they decided to put it on air in the tourism areas. And they also launched a classical music station and another station, so next to their RTV Radio 5 and 3. So they even launched new stations on DAB+ as well. So they're going the right way.
So to start from the top, is Spain your favorite country regarding DAB+ development?
No, that cannot be true, being in Germany. So Germany is, and it stays, my favorite. But I must say that also France is doing a lot of good things. And let me go back here. I hope that will work. Yes, in France, the regulator Arcom, I was there, I think it was 2 weeks ago, announced their roadmap to switch over. That's quite incredible, and it has 2 phases. The first phase is from now till 2028, and that has to do with preparation. So what they do not have currently is metrics. They want to know, is FM declining? Is DAB climbing and IP climbing? So figures, they want to have figures, new deployments of antennas and new stations as well. And after 28, between 28 and 2033, they want to migrate everything. So that means completing the transition to digital broadcast completely. That's their plan, that's the roadmap. And they have quickly built their coverage to 62.2% in the last couple of years. Because if you remember, 4 years ago, that was not the case. So it is right now. But also, just the other week, Austria launched a second national multiplex with 5 regional multiplexes. So bringing 28 new stations to almost the entire country. And that's great new choice for listeners. And it's also great opportunities for public broadcasters.
So which areas do you think are still undervalued, where they could do more, even though it might have a good chance for development?
Well, there are several key areas. As you can see on the map, you can see Africa, Middle East, Asia. And just the other, let's say 1 month or a half ago, I was with the RRI Indonesia team because last year in August, they are working on developing a plan for DAB+ in Indonesia. But also in Thailand, just the other week, the NBTC, the authority there, published a report on the successful DAB+ trials in Thailand, and they're now consulting the frequency planning and receivers and manufacturers, etc. So that's what they're doing over there. And then looking to Australia, which is a country, there is DAB+ already very, very far and very prominent. Yeah, so just the other week, just the other month, ABC and SBS launched their new stations on the Gold Coast. And they're growing audiences, also amongst younger people.
So we spoke about Spain and maybe Switzerland. You want to highlight that as well?
Well, first, can I go? I can go to Switzerland, but I can also say something about Africa, because there's a lot going on there, as you can see on this slide. We had a launch of trial in Ghana, covering Accra and Kumasi. We also had Uganda with a trial covering Greater Kampala, and we have also interest on all the light blue ones, so many have interest on DAB+. And just this month, Senegal launched DAB+, so with 32 stations broadcasting across 2 multiplexes from Dakar. And the Arabic states, we also welcomed the Saudi Broadcasting Authority, launching DAB+ in Riyadh, Daman, and Jeddah, and with 6 new stations. And we expect by the end of this year that the entire kingdom will be covered. So, yeah, and then you wanted to go to Switzerland. We could do that, because here you see the bubble heads, and I love them. I've seen them in real life, and their heads go like this. So when they're on your dashboard, because that's what it's all about, Katrien Kluser from Ofcom, she explained to us that supposedly they were going to switch off FM in 24. They postponed till the 31st of December 26, and 25, 26, 24, 25 were years to prepare for the switchover. And now what they see is that the Switzerland coverage is like 99% outdoor coverage and 96% indoor coverage. And this digital listening in Switzerland is 80%. So 40% of that is DAB, 40% is IP, and 20% FM. And in the car, 1/3 is still FM listening. Well, it's only 1/3, but still, it's 1/3. So their communication is completely aimed at the drivers. And these bubbleheads, so that are going like this, they have TV commercials, and they're actually having a voice. And you can see them on the WorldDAB.org website. But that's a very nice campaign to persuade also car drivers to switch over to DAB+. Yeah, I think that's all for Switz. I forget, of course, what you just said, is that they announced today that SRG will be switching off FM by the end of this year.
So the whole of SRG, the whole public broadcaster in Switzerland, will end FM broadcasting by the end of this year.
Yes.
That's a nice piece of news.
It is.
It really is. About 70% of the population in Europe could technically listen to DAB+ if they had a DAB+ radio, but not all of them do up to this point. What can be done to push the sales of DAB+ radios? What would you say?
Well, 70% is able to listen. So what we see is, just to make it a bit of in a context, 129 million devices have been sold to today. That's quite a lot. So, and of course, to put that more in context, in the UK, last year it hit 50 million, so it's over there. And in Germany, it's now over 25 million. In Italy, it's over 10 million. And in cars, we know that 96% of new cars come with DAB+ as standard, and it might even be a little bit more, but we don't have data for all the models and makes. So There's now a huge installed base with DAB+, and a wonderfully rich range of radio stations available to listeners in many, many countries, and many more stations than on FM. And that number of countries is also increasing that adopt DAB+ as the follow-up for FM. And we know that listeners are using their radios in the car. For example, the latest audience research in the UK from released last month showed that DAB+ share in car, the listening has reached a record height of 57.5%. That is 7 percentage points up from last year. So that's what happens at this moment. It's really a momentum. But you just ask, can we do more? And these are the 5 C's, and I think that many of you already saw them before. And you've heard the word today many times, and it's all about collaboration. It's about all parts of the sectors working together, like broadcasters, regulators, manufacturers, retailers, everybody. And communicate the benefits of DAB+ to listeners, but especially also on air. So the real heroes of the listener tell their own listeners what it's all about. And we know that the DAB+ devices can play a critical role in emergencies as well. So we will have another session on that.
We'll speak about that in a second. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, communication, that stays essential. And
do you think that also, yes, communication is central, and offerings, of course, products that are available, that are attractive. But do you think it also needs regulation? So not only a pull from the products, but also a push because politics and regulators say, this is where we want to go, so that more households have to buy digital radios.
Well, we can see it's very handy when there is regulation. We can see that with the cars. I mean, the fact that we don't have an issue there anymore, and a couple of years ago, we were still talking about how do we get them in cars. Now it's obligatory, it's so there. And there are countries that have, like Flanders, for example, obligation since 21 to have DAB standard in every radio. So any radio sold in that market needs to have DAB+ in that radio. And that actually helps because it moves up, it makes it easier. The retailers have it in their stores. In the Netherlands, for example, we talk to all the retailers because it's not obligatory, but there are preferably no FM-only radios anymore in the stores. So, of course, it depends, as we heard before, where a country is, what is appropriate in that country, can it be put in as legislation or not. So it helps, and I can only advise, if possible, do it, and otherwise do it. That's a Dutch word, what I wanted to say. But if you can't do it anyway. So yeah, it is. So in the meantime, clear communication is essential and good marketing, you know, and that's why we have the marketing group together with Carsten. We work twice a year. We have our marketing group global. We share cases, we share practices, we share everything based upon the beautiful logo that was developed originally here, which is adopted globally. Everybody uses it. So it's a clear message, being clear about DAB+.
Thank you very much for this international overview, Jackie Bierhorst. Thank you very much.